What's going on, everybody? It's another garden update. A lot of changes has happened since my last garden update, and I'm pretty eager to show this. A lot of things have come up and developed, and I might actually do a bit of a harvest in this garden update. So let me show you what's been going on. To start off, my beans are actually doing pretty good. Even though it's been hot for the last 6 to 7 days, it pretty much stood tall. Also, I have beans coming up in the other 2 containers. Hopefully they will do pretty good. And hopefully they'll survive all this heat that we've been having, I would say, for almost 2 weeks. But if I keep an eye on them, I know they'll probably survive. My squash is actually doing very, very good right now. I've been watering just as much and as much as I can on a daily basis, and I'm hoping I'm giving it enough water and I'm not over watering. But as you can see, we got 3 squash coming up on the vine, and of course there's a male flower that bloomed. I don't know if there's any more squash coming on, but I'm pretty sure there is. I hope they were pollinated. If they weren't, whatever other squash that comes on the vine, I may have to pollinate myself. So it's good that the squash is actually doing pretty good. It's looks like it's growing up instead of down, meaning the trellis is actually working. So I may have to add a little bit more to this flimsy plastic loop that I got for the squash, but I think things will work out. And for those who don't know the variety of squash that I got growing, it's a straight neck squash. It's a yellow squash. So hopefully I'll actually have things going pretty good for the squash this year. My peppers are actually doing really, really good right now. So good, in fact, that there's flowers coming on, I would say, most of all of the pepper plants. So it'll be, I would say, a few weeks before I see a bell pepper from any of my bell pepper plants. Been keeping them watered, and more likely I have to change up the fertilizer so the bell peppers can develop pretty quick on the plants. And I'm hoping in one of the containers I won't be having too much issues with the bell peppers that come on, but we'll just have to see. And lastly, on my tomato plant, a viewer commented about my issues with blossom end rot on the fruit, and they basically told me that it's either being overwatered or underwatered. And knowing that this container gets pretty dry real quick, I'm thinking that it's been underwatered, even though I thought I gave it enough water to sustain itself and not actually have this issue. But even though it seemed like it's being underwater, it's developing quite a bit of fruit. So when it comes to having fruit on it, it's not an issue. It's just the watering. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it some water right now. And I'm still having issues with beetles finding their way inside to hide from the predators, but I'm gonna find a different way of actually making sure these beetles don't go in the pipe anymore. So water's still going. So let's move on to the other tomato plant, because that one is where I'm going to actually harvest my first ripe tomato. And here's the second tomato plant, where I actually have a couple of tomatoes that's already ripening, but the ripest one is the one I'm going to be picking right now. No blossom end rot. Looking real good. And some other ones will probably be ripening pretty soon, especially the bigger ones. And I'm hoping to get to show you those tomatoes as well. So, if you like what you see, leave a like. If you have questions, comments, leave it in the comment section. That's it for now. Happy gardening.